Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric. On a fun excited video for you guys today because there is a Harvest Moon Recomp PC port in the works. If you're wondering why I'm saying Recomp PC port, the developer on this one, OpenSource, who uploaded a video to YouTube demoing it out, called it both a Recomp and a PC port at the same time. I'm sure it's just for a title thing, but it's also a really fun look at the fact that the nomenclature for these things gets confusing and sometimes people don't really 100% understand what it is we're looking at. But this is a recomp of Harvest Moon 64, one of the most unique games on the N64, and one with some of the most unique visual stylings and flair. And I know a lot of people are going to be excited about this one because the people that love Harvest Moon and this overall gameplay aesthetic 100% love it. And for the people that never loved it back in the day, I don't think there's anything about a PC version that's going to make you suddenly fall in love. But maybe it'll make you take another shot at the game, and maybe you'll find something there that you just missed out back in the day. Because I remember Harvest Moon 64 being at my local EB Games, and I remember it being on rental shelves. At least that's how my memory goes, but again, it's been some decades now, and I never actually played it back then. But I have taken a look at it recently, and honestly, there is a lot of fun to love here. And if you have something like a mobile version of the game, like Steam Deck, if the actual recomp will work on that, and most of them already have, it's the perfect thing that you can take on a commute if you're taking the train to work, or if you're playing it at lunchtime, and it really does get super engrossing, and honestly, it has a dog in it, so you know it's going to be a winner for me. Now let's move over to OpenSource's footage here. I did leave a link to their channel below, and as of right now, they have 9 subscribers, so let's do them a favor, go pump those numbers up. I want to see at least 100 subscribers, maybe within 24 hours of me posting this video, because there is one thing I firmly believe in: a rising tide floats all boats, and I'm always here to tell you to go check out other people's stuff. It's one of those things, a lot of times channels will use my footage without ever asking or mentioning me, but anytime I talk about anybody else's work, I want you to go over there and tell them VGE sent me in the comments, so we know that at least my community supports other makers, especially with fun N64 recomp stuff. And they're just showing it in ultra wide mode right now to show that it can basically render on any sort of resolution depending on what monitor you have. And honestly, Harvest Moon in ultra wide, absolutely a vibe, and does show that you can actually get a lot different look at the game. And this is based, at least in part, on the decomp, but that's kind of an interesting thing. We have a Harvest Moon 64 decomp. The developer here is listing it as a recomp. The actual Harbor Masters Discord has been talking about a PC port. There's a lot of movement going on here with Harvest Moon 64, and I think in the end of the day, that means the fans are absolutely going to win, because this, again, is just speeding up so much. It's basically, there isn't a week that I can take off for actually talking about N64 recomps, decomps, and PC ports, and that definitely makes me very happy. And you'll see here, at least on the decomp side of things, the Japanese version has been started, but again, I know my audience is English speaking, so probably not as big of a deal to you. But again, Harvest Moon 64, something for me personally. I can get into these games. If I give them to Mrs. Esoterica, I can watch her play something like this for 8 hours because she gets absolutely engrossed. You give her Animal Crossing, you give her Harvest Moon, you give her a game in that kind of like city building or farming genre, and she's absolutely just going to fall so far down the rabbit hole. Sometimes I have to tell her it's bedtime, we just basically need to stop playing. And sometimes I think she hates when I tell those stories, but the most recent Animal Crossing, she put over 800 hours into that. But again, how much do we really have to do when that game came out? But a recomp of this absolutely would be awesome. Now it's one of those things, because it basically is almost an entirely 2D game, that internal rendering resolution bump isn't going to be as dramatic as we see on something like the Banjo-Kazooie recomp, where you have the amazing textures and you have a higher internal rendering resolution rate. 2D does scale, but it doesn't scale as dramatically as 3D, just as how your eye actually sees it. Yes, the resolution is still scaling the exact same way, it just isn't all that noticeable. But leave me a comment down below and you tell me, because I am curious. Harvest Moon, as far as a franchise, and specifically the N64 version, are you a fan or not? Because I expect this one definitely to do a little less views because it isn't the most popular genre, but it really doesn't feel fair for me to kind of pick and choose what recomps and PC ports I talk about, whether or not I think the videos are going to do well, because I'm here to talk about the entirety of the process. Let's do a soundtrack sample so you can hear how amazing the Harvest Moon 64 music is, and I'll be right back. I mean, pretty much everything about Harvest Moon 64 is absolutely a vibe, but then again, so is Animal Crossing. Getting its start on the N64, then moving over to the GameCube because in North America, we never actually got the 64 version of the game. And I totally understand, these type of games are not for everyone, but they absolutely are for the people that love them. And being able to play something like Animal Crossing as a PC port, being able to shortly play something like Harvest Moon 64 as a recomped PC version, that is just going to make a lot of people happy. And I totally get, I see in the comments, why not Rave Race 64? Why not Sin and Punishment? And I get it, people would love to see those super popular games, but I need to remind you of one thing again. Nobody is being paid to make these ports, no one's being paid to make these recomps. Fans out there dedicate their time and their energy to bringing them to you, but they basically work on what they enjoy and love, and that really is the thing. I don't make videos on the channel that I don't want to make. I make whatever it is I'd like, and sometimes when people say, why don't you talk about X, the reality situation is just because I really wasn't in the mood to actually talk about it. But something like these PC ports and recomps, you should just be happy getting them because it's one of those things. Nobody, again, is getting rich by doing this, and I'm sure there's a ton of different ways they could all spend their free time, and they decide to spend it bringing you projects like this, so it definitely should be celebrated. And if you can't tell, I'm slightly bummed out when I do hear people say that these things are a waste of time. The reality is nothing is a waste of time if it's not your time being spent on the project, and I think a lot of people are going to be very happy to hear something like Harvest Moon 64 is in fact going to be on PC soon. And I totally get it, there's a lot of games out there that people would love to see, myself included, but so many of them are in active development, maybe you just haven't heard about them yet, because when you say some of the top games that aren't yet on PC, it's just going to be a matter of time, because trust me, these things are speeding up. And again, we have so many incredible versions of N64 games on PC. There is a ton of fun to be had until you bide your time, until that project that you actually want to see comes out. Because again, Harbor Masters is working on the PC port of Paper Mario, and that's one that people have waited over 3 years to see any movement on. And honestly, you probably forgot that it hadn't even existed yet. It's one of those things, suddenly you see the announcement that one of your favorite games is coming over to something like PC, and then from there you realize, hey, the timing is now. Because again, we all have nostalgia for so many incredible games out there. Obviously, for me personally, the Silent Hill decomp and PC port probably leading as far as my excitement is concerned, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other games out there that you'd be excited by. And I do really feel like genuinely in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see hundreds upon hundreds of static recomps and PC ports coming over to PC. So if your favorite game isn't in the works yet, it'll probably be in the works in the next 6 months to 12 months. And don't worry, I'm going to keep making these big decomp energy videos showing you guys what is done, how to play it, what is in the works, and how far along it is. Because there are so many active projects right now, I probably haven't even talked about half of them. So I did leave a link to decomp.dev down below in the description that shows primarily almost all of the different active decomps going on. Let's do one more soundtrack sample just because I love the music in Harvest Moon 64. It is such a chill vibe, and I'm definitely going to make you listen to it. But I'll be right back. So yeah, a PC version of Harvest Moon 64 is incoming. Now, as far as when it's going to be done, I have absolutely no idea. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be 6 months from now. These things never get a stated completion date, but you can clearly tell by OpenSource's demo here. Again, link in the description below. Go toss them some subs and say Video Game Esoterica said, hey, I feel like this thing is pretty far along, and I feel like you're probably going to see it sooner rather than later, and that definitely is a very fun time. But as always, you leave me a comment down below and you tell me if you could snap your fingers and make one N64 game show up as a PC port or a static recomp, which one would it be? And usually more often than not, Conker's Bad Fur Day wins, and I totally get it. That game can run as a slideshow on N64, and I'm sure one day you're going to see it, but for now, it's Harvest Moon 64, and I'm definitely stoked for that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Short of that, we're done. I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.